Hello everyone, welcome to Encrypted Reality. Today we're going to be going over Cliff Hyde and his prediction about December the 3rd, at least that's what everybody is saying, about the UFOs fighting UFOs in the sky and the military fighting UFOs in the sky. So I've seen a lot of videos about this and I was already familiar a little bit with the subject from the videos, and then I stumbled upon Cliff Hyde's video that actually speaks about this, which was done, I believe, a little over a month ago, probably close to the 6 weeks. So he actually goes over the prophecy, or well, I wouldn't say it's a prophecy. Well, the AI prediction, let's say that's what it is. The AI prediction, he goes over that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a deep dive, not that deep of a dive. We're going to be going into what he actually said about it, right? And I've taken my time to go over the video, and I'm going to give you some of the most important pieces of it. We're going to try to keep this short so you guys can get an understanding of what people have been getting right, and ultimately some of the things that people have been getting wrong. But I'm going to put a link in the description to Cliff Hyde's video, but I'm not going to be going over the whole 2 videos because just like how he says,
because I'm a long-winded motherfucker.
So what he speaks about is pretty much temporal markers, which are pretty important parts in the timeline, when the AI is predicting. And some of these temporal markers are found by using language. And this is how he explains how he came about, perfecting this language model. So take a look.
So about 2009, we get into a situation where there's a forecast of a temporal marker. Now you have to understand something about the data sets and why temporal markers are really important. Okay, so all of the time components within the data are calculated based on the duration of emotional impact for a word. So I had to come up with these numbers. And so I would go through long lists of words and say, oh, well, that word under these contexts would have this sort of a long duration. And then I just take a stab at it. Eventually we codified on some ranges, okay? And so it came down to immediacy language, midterm language, and then long-term language. What the process is to go through and get all this language off the internet, go through the pre-processing that sucks out the potentially prescient stuff, and then apply these constraint processes to it. And in the constraint processes is one of those that figures out the time impact of this word in that context in this particular set.
So to me, that's interesting. It's interesting how, that he's using these language models to determine these things. But as you can probably tell, just by listening to the process, that there's going to be a little room for error, so he's not expecting this thing to be perfect. And he kind of goes over this, and we'll go a little bit more in depth with that. But also, this next clip, he kind of goes into what can we expect round and about at the 39-day mark. So let's take a look at that.
In 2009, that had been reinforced over the years from 2009 through to 2015, that said that 39 days after this TM took place, we would have and this is where Igor and I did our fighting, we would have this visible contention that would dissolve into a melee. And at the time, and even in our conversations here recently, he wanted to say, and I'll title this way in honor of Igor here, but he wanted to say that it was 39 days to melee, which is a catchy phrase. Okay, it'd be a nice title for a book or something. But in my opinion, it's not quite accurate, right? Because we don't know what the distance is between the organized visible contention that then degrades into the melee. That might be months for all we know. But what we do have some justification for suggesting is that there will be 39 days between the temporal marker of the Trump interview and the appearance of this visible contention. And we're not talking, people taking on migrant gangs that are taking over apartment buildings. But the stuff that had been motivating me to get hold of Dick Allgaier was the visible contention between space aliens, or whatever, right? Alien reproduction vehicles or whatever the hell. Who knows what's going on? Because we can't validate any of it at this point, right? But the data set said that 39 days after this temporal marker, giant, huge, iconic temporal marker, to be honest, I never thought I would live to actually see it occur.
Okay, so as you can see, he's saying that 39 days after the temporal marker, which is, again, the Joe Rogan and Donald Trump interview, that's when there will be visual confrontation. I believe that's what he said. So we're talking about that's when we're going to see things starting to happen. And I think that we're already seeing things start to happen. So we could possibly be in this, and again, like how he says, it's not perfect. It could be months before the melee, and that was the key word, was melee. And that's when the command and control breaks down. Now, what that means, I have absolutely no idea. But the thing that pops up in my mind is it could possibly be, and this is just my speculation, it could be with the incoming administration and some type of loss of command and control, because there seems like there's going to be a lot of shakeups in the government, which could possibly shake these programs up quite a bit themselves. So in this last clip, he really just sums up the epicness of this moment and how this moment may be a moment, and we're talking about the Donald Trump Rogan interview. It may be a moment that people, look back on in the past as the catalyst to getting into what he calls sci-fi world. Take a listen.
So I didn't have any hooks and any personalities involved. It was just two cutouts, just two placeholders, two variables for me. What turned out to be a podcaster and a president of the United States that were just going to blow the whole thing wide open. The reason that this is the case is because that TM had a lot to do with the UFO discussion, right? And the secret technology and all of this kind of shit. That's why in the data sets, it became such a standout, such a iconic temporal marker, was because it appears just ahead of sci-fi world starting to manifest. And it is such that 100 years from now, people can go back and look at this video, look at the interview itself, and know that that was the absolute threshold being crossed as we move into sci-fi world.
So that, my friend, that is what Cliff High said. Okay, so he wasn't saying 39 days till melee. He actually made his video 39 days till melee in recognition of his friend that was helping him, and the argument and the disagreement that they have. What it really is 39 days to visual confirmation. Okay, so the melee could break out later on down the road. He talks about times that he thinks that it could break out, which is sometimes around, I believe he said around the transition time, January 15th, January 20th, or I believe he said until February, but it's in his video, which I'll link in the description. So what do you think? Do you think there's going to be a little bit more visual confrontation, or do you think he's full of crap? I don't know. I'm definitely going to keep my eyes open. It's very enticing. It's interesting at the time that this video was actually made. And also it's interesting that he put this out about 6 weeks ago. And it's also interesting all of the stuff that we're hearing about all of these drones. That's what they're calling them, drones, across the world, at the UK bases, at the US bases. Is this a coordinated attack, or is this what he's talking about? Is this going to be this these moments that lead into what he calls sci-fi world. Well, stay tuned. We're going to be looking more into some of this drone footage that has been coming around. And, we're definitely going to be looking into some more cryptid action and things like that. So again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.
Thank you for watching Encrypted Reality. Like, share, and subscribe for more Encrypted Reality.